Everybody's talking about distance when it comes to their driver. And yes, distance is important. But what about that time during the round when you just got to get the ball in the fairway? What can you do? Well, you've come to the right place, because today I'm going to show you how you can hit your driver in the fairway every single time. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV and the Sanford Power Golf Academy. And when it comes to the driver, hey, I am not denying it. Distance is important. But there are certain times when you just have got to get the ball in the fairway. And that's what I'm going to share with you here today as we get going. So let's dive right into it. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to talk about the traditional setup. We're talking about normal fairway width, pretty wide open, and you just want to bomb it down there. What are you going to do? Well, the first thing that you're going to do is you want to tee the ball up pretty high. And what you'll notice here from the down the line view is that I like to tee the ball up about to a position where about half of the ball is above the top of the club head. Now, the reason I started with that is because that's going to be different than what we're going to talk about here in a second when we talk about looking for accuracy, not distance. So we're talking about distance. When you tee the ball up, I want you to tee it up so about half of the ball is above the top of the club head. Now, the other thing that we're going to talk about here is just the general setup. Now, this isn't going to change a lot from the distance setup to the accuracy setup, so let's go through it. We're going to have a stance that's pretty much shoulder width apart, and you'll notice I've got the rhymer down here. I love using the rhymer. Anytime I'm working on ball position, stance width, aim, those types of things, it's really helpful. So I've got that ball teed up, about half of it's above the top of the club head. I got a stance width that's a little bit about shoulder width. And in my setup, if you've watched any of my videos, you know a couple things I really like. I like the lead hip a little towards the target. I like a little bit more weight on the lead foot, roughly about 60%. And if I'm hitting the driver, I like a little bit of tilt. All right, so I've got the ball teed up, good height. I've got a wide stance, and I've got a little bit of tilt. Now, here's the secret for distance. We've got to hit slightly up on the golf ball. So ball position combined with tee height is the magic for distance. So I've got the rhymer set in here, all right, and I've got the pointer right off the 6. All right, that's where I'm going to keep it when I'm looking for my distance. So let's go through it. Here we go. Shoulder width, a little bit of weight left, teed up high, ball forward. All right, felt really solid, hopefully down the middle. But I know if I'm looking for distance, that's what I want. Now, how about accuracy? What about when you've got to hit the ball in the fairway? Well, let's dive right into that. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to change the tee height. So I've got a tee now that's a little bit shorter. The other one was longer. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the mat right here, but it's going to definitely be lower than the previous one was. So if I put my club down there, notice now how it's still teed up, but it's not as high as the other one. So how much difference? I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch. Not a huge difference, but it's definitely a little bit shorter. The other side of this is going to be basically the same. Let's go front on view here. I got my shoulder width stance, right? I'm still going to do my bump and all those types of things. But the key here is the tee height and the ball position, all right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bump the slider back a little bit. So I was on the 6. Now I'm going to put it right in between the 4 and the 5, all right? So I'm going to move my ball back a little bit to match that up. Okay, so you can see how I've got that set up right there. Now, and I have to tell you, hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel, all right? And be sure to check out usgolftv.com because we're always doing some great content, helping our fellow golfers play great golf. Matter of fact, you want to check out some of our stuff specifically for senior golfers, vertical line swing stuff. We got some really good things there that can help you play better golf. So let's get right back to it here. I've moved the ball back slightly. Remember, it used to be off the 6. Now I've got it somewhere between kind of the 5 and the 4, and I've teed it down a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and get that same setup. Here we go. I've got a little bit of tilt forward, a little bit of weight forward, a little bit of tilt back. Okay, now when I hit that, I could tell I hit it definitely a little bit more kind of lower on the face and more towards the center. The other one I hit a little bit higher because it was teed up. So when we're looking for accuracy, we want to, a lot of golfers, okay, they hit not so much down on it, but they hit level with it. When we're looking for distance, we want to make sure that we're hitting up on it. So these couple concepts, when we're set in there, can really help us do that. So next time when we head into the golf course, if you're looking for distance, we're going to move that ball forward, we're going to tilt a little bit, we're going to tee it up high. If you're looking for accuracy, you got to get that ball in the fairway. move it back a little bit, tee it down just slightly, set up the same way with all the other concepts we talked about, and see what happens. My guess is you're going to see that golf ball finish in the fairway.